1-2-1-2. It's time for another episode of the Real Pundits podcast. This is Alex.
And kind of Brandon.
All right, and kind of Brandon's here because, well, we're still getting over the concepts of, well, that's it. Game of Thrones is over.
That's it.
That was the entire... You want to do your review again? You want to start all over again? Your review is?
That's it.
Okay. So, is there anything redeeming, in all honesty? I mean, let's just...
No.
What did you think of the episode?
Made 0 sense.
See, I disagree with you. It made sense. It
Hold
followed
on.
exactly where we were at.
No, it did not.
For where we were at as far as the episode
So the
before
only
that?
consequence that Aegon Targaryen caused was Dany to go insane. So that means that Brandon is the most evil and diabolical character in Game of Thrones because he made that happen so he could be king.
Oh, yeah.
If that's not the case, right? And D&D just forgot. Like, Dany forgot about the Iron Fleet. D&D just forgot to wrap that up. The whole season felt rushed after episode 2. Episode 1 and 2, perfect. Exactly where they should have been. Everything else, episode 3 wasn't terrible. It just felt rushed. Really rushed battle. I don't understand how the Dothraki multiplied. I don't know how they got that many Unsullied back after Grey Worm sacrificed half of them.
Two Dothraki love each other.
Oh, no, I get it. I'm assuming
And there's a horse involved.
I'm assuming they multiply like Namekians then.
No, they're more like, Mogwai. What ends up
So they
happening...
got wet and...
Yeah, that's how Unsullied replicates.
Because there was a lot.
actually-
She had a lot more army than she did at the end of the Battle of Winterfell.
Of course. But that was only a portion of the Dothraki and a portion of the Unsullied.
We definitely saw all of them run, but only a portion of them actually ran.
Well, some of them came back.
Yeah, and on the horses did.
That's all you need. The
And
people
Jorah.
pop up out of the
Right,
horses.
right,
That
that's
they're,
right.
they're
They-
stored inside the horses.
That makes sense. Okay, and
So as
then,
long as I just want to make sense.
so here's the question I have: did Jon just walk out and snitch on himself?
Yeah, he was basically he ended up killing his old lady, and he walks up. And he's like, "Hey, yo, Grey Worm."
So he's like that crazy guy you hear about when the cops show up. He's like, "Oh, you're looking for me." Oops. Still holding the bloody knife. Like, oops.
Yeah, I killed her.
So then, when he was walking to the dock, saw Bran and Sansa and Arya, and was saying bye. The Unsullied had already left. Why did he go up north? They were gone. Nobody wanted him to go.
Because
He had to go pet
Honor.
his dog.
honor.
Right. He just stabbed his queen. There's no more honor left.
He still has some honor,
He did show that he had the balls that Eddard Stark didn't,
which
which was
was
cool. Eddard Stark refused to hurt Joffrey, and Cersei refused.
Mhm.
In season 1. Even though he knew that there was wrongdoing, he gave them the opportunity. And that's what inevitably got him killed. Jon Snow did not give her the opportunity. He got up, he pulled an Arya. He got up close enough to, which, by the way, if it would have been her wearing his face, even better.
You would have accepted that.
I would have accepted it, because it would have been, haha.
Haha. Now,
Because then at least it would have call back to her assassin training with the faceless stuff, which we haven't
Instead
seen
of
since
her
season
pirate
7.
stuff?
Yeah, now she's a pirate. So she's Victorian Greyjoy,
basically, and she's
the Stark version.
the captain who has no name.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as much as I know you want to sit there and look at all the plot holes and look at
No. Let's talk about
There's-
the wheelchair in the room.
well, the most
could never be
most
lord of
gangsta,
anything.
the most gangster
Yeah.
man in the Stark family,
Yeah.
who's been plotting this since I fell out of a
Yeah.
castle. No, I'm going to go to a different route. As you going with the whole cynic thing, as always, I'm looking at artistically.
Shot beautifully.
Oh man, so like I'm not saying I can forgive D&D's whole situation, but I can go. They did make it very pretty.
Oh yeah, no, they hired the right director of photography. But here's the problem, right? So I showed you the video interview that George R. R. Martin had with Variety.
I loosely remember you showing that to me. Could you go over it real
So
quick?
George R. R. Martin stated that they initially tried to get D&D to go 11, 12, 13 seasons.
That man wanted to go forever.
He knew there was enough stuff in his books. Imagine that, right? We'd still be on book 5 right now had they used all the material.
We wouldn't even. We would know. I don't even think we even be that far with all the extra stuff that would have been that you could have pulled out of book 3 alone.
And he's talking about releasing Winds of Winter in 2020, which means by the time Winds of Winter is released, we'd have another season to go with Winds of Winter, and then we go and we would never skip the books.
Well, see, I guess my big problem is where we're sitting at right now with HBO programming. I'm gonna take this off road for just a second away from Game of Thrones. Right now we have a show that was well thought out and planned. Deadwood. And now we're getting another story in the Deadwood universe. You're just taking the characters, they may be older. You're advancing things further, but you're having another story. So all the fans of Deadwood will be like, oh, it's time to go back to that. I think we could have done that with Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, you could have paused it and gone forward.
Wait a little while.
Or D&D could have just said, hey, we're done here. Does anybody else want to take this over?
I think that would have worked out fine and do a lot of transitions. And this could have been done differently. I'm not going to sit there and do the shame and throw shade the way
we'll even
a lot
talk
of people
about
are.
the interview with the president of programming for HBO. He even said in an interview with EW that HBO wanted them to continue the series. And what I've read in EW before, and I forget which guy was talking about it, but D&D initially wanted this done in 6 seasons. Then they got them to agree to 7. And then they got them to agree to 8, but 8 was where they were stopping. Imagine if they would have rushed that, and this would have all ended in season 6.
After a certain point, I could see them pulling off something like that, but we got what we got. And I think my biggest problem is no matter how much hate and how much shade that we may have,
it's just a show.
It's just a show. It was entertaining. It was 10 years of entertainment.
Oh, I'm not even mad. I'm just...
it's not even mad. I'm looking at a lot of things on the internet. There's a lot of people throwing some hate out there.
It was just a waste.
I don't think it was a waste. We had 10 years of entertainment.
No. I'm not saying the 10 years was a waste. I'm saying it was a waste of
an ending?
Of an ending, yeah.
Yeah.
You could have wrapped this up, and it could have been MASH. It could have been Breaking Bad. It could have been...
something that you still watch the entire series to get to the end. Oh, no, trust me. I get that.
But instead we got Dexter.
We did not have an ending that will stand the time. And now I have... people, actually, I think my cousin was actually one of the ones who's just now starting on season 1. And it's almost one of those things of like, man, I want to stop you. I want to go, hey, read the books.
Oh, yeah.
Or
let me get to that part here because I do owe people some things. For anybody I got involved into the show over the years, I
come
apologize.
on, man. No, man, come on.
I apologize.
Because to me, that's gateway entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Because when the next things that come out that are going to be taking that void, people are going to have the standards.
They're not going to take my word for it.
Well, not even that. Their standards are going to be built up. We're going to see what has been done and what can be done. And now we know how far you can push an epic story just because you get epic visuals and you have great directing, great cinematography. That doesn't always mean you're going to get an amazing story. Now we have to go through and tell people to watch The Expanse, pull people back into the sci-fi world, and you might see some better storytelling with a epic scene or two. I think that we right now just have to sit there and accept the fact that we got our MCU version of Game of Thrones. And this is the cinematic version. We're going to, in all praise be to him keeping alive, we're going to get George R.R. Martin to finish the books. And like he said in one of the interviews that I saw, it's going to be some of the things they got were right, some of the things they got were wrong, some of the things are going to be totally different. He has a lot... There are more characters involved in the books that we never even touched on in the TV series. So when we get to that point, we're going to get something different. And I think this is just going to give the fans, hardcore fans, another an alternative to what we saw. I don't think it really should have the hate that it has right now. No, it's their telling.
I'll agree. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying it's...
No, you're not hating for once, but it's the fact of I'm tired of the internet.
It's something apathy on my end.
Apathy I can accept. It's the sheer hatred. It's the 500,000 plus people who are sitting there signing a petition to reshoot it.
These 1.5 million now.
Oh, it's 1.5 million now. It's that whole thing of why are we weird? We've already bought the ticket. The ride has already gone through. We're pulling back into where we started on this roller coaster. It's over. Why complain now?
Yeah.
I think that's where my problem is. You're seeing a lot of people online doing that. A lot of YouTubers are straight up just, what did I watch? That was a waste of time. No, you saw this coming. You saw this coming 3 episodes ago. You knew how this was going to end. We're going with a very elementary story. They really dumbed it down. That magic of Martin being a real, like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. No, we knew all it was coming. The only thing I was in shock by is that Drogon said, you know what, I'm burning that chair. I was in shock.
I'm trying to figure out if he understood it was the power that caused her to go nuts and then which led to her death, or if he assumed the chair, which was the only pointy thing in the room, killed her. I don't know which, but I know he was really mad at the chair and not Jon.
Right. And to me, I'm going, that was the only, like, twist, other than Sansa's dress, was amazing.
You know what
the
my
costume
twist was?
designers killed it on Sansa's dress.
You know what my twist was?
Huh.
The Unsullied left the Dothraki in Westeros, and nobody mentioned it.
Yeah. They were just walking around in King's Landing. They just took King's Landing, and that's theirs now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I thought was a waste of a scene, even though I enjoyed the banter, was the new small council.
Yeah. Bronn's stupid on there.
Now, I thought it was cute to throw the whole Songs of Fire and Ice as far as...
That was good.
That was cute. But minus that, it's over. Yeah. And I'm not angry. I'm just like, well, that's over. I'm looking forward to the books. It made me really go, I cannot wait for the books. I'm starting the books
especially because
over.
Martin did specifically mention after that the books will end completely different than the movie, than the show did. So
we're going to see something.
And Winds of Winter supposed to have unicorns.
I don't care at this point.
Yeah.
The man could write whatever. I'm just like, I just don't want to see the fan base turn on him. Yeah. So officially, can we say
it's done? No more Game of Thrones.
You're not going to rank it?
The entire series or this episode?
You know what? This is the last time we're going to talk about Game of Thrones as the
entire
series.
Entire series. So
Give
we're gonna up the bar a little bit for star ratings. We talked about this before because it's too condensed with 4 out of 5 stars. So we're gonna go to the 10-star rating system. We'll even call them Pundits.
Okay.
And I'll give the entire series. I would give it 8 Pundits before this season, but because of the ending, it's going to get 6.5.
I'm going to meet you somewhere in there. I'm going to knock it up to 7 Pundits.
7 Pundits?
7 is I'm taking the average of both of our scores. I didn't have to give mine with them saying I was going to give it a 7 because cinematography alone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like...
Storytelling's important, too.
Storytelling is really important, but hey. So now that that's over with, Terminator. Dark Fate.
Stupid. That's all I have on it. Stupid.
It's another time we're going through and we're retconning all the movies that have passed and going back to a second movie and going, this is where we're starting off at. Cameron's producing, which we don't know how much he's actually going to be involved, especially with the whole Avatar 4-part thing that he has going on. But there's another Terminator. Sarah Connor is back. The half skeleton, half plasma dual Terminator thing. What do you think of that? At least have to say that was different than what we've seen before.
It's Terminator.
Looks like it's going to be fun at least.
It hasn't been fun since T2.
Wow.
Yeah. You're talking about the one series that I liked as a kid. And as soon as T3 came out, I was like, nope, this is dumb. And then Salvation, and then Genesis. And now we're on the 6th one. And
it's not the 6th one. It's going to be the 3rd one.
Technically, it's the 7th one because you have the series too.
Yeah,
and that was really stupid.
Yeah, that one.
And
that one was bad.
And this one's equally stupid. And
you haven't even seen it yet.
It's Terminator 6. It is literally okay. Let's watch the Wishmaster series.
Okay.
All right. You'll enjoy 1. You'll enjoy 2.
Okay, that's as far
by
as
3.
It
gets really derivative.
There's a 3.
There's 7.
I know.
Yeah, but this is the point. Like we're now doing to the Terminator series what we've done to crappy B horror. Make a million sequels that make no sense after you've already established your universe.
I want to see if they'll make sense of it. I'm willing to give it a try to see if it makes sense.
Of course you are. I'm not. I'm not going to waste my time, energy, and emotion on that. If you tell me it's good, hey, all right, I'll go take a look at it.
I'm going to take a look at it based on erasing all the other movies that are existing out of my head.
See, that's the thing. It doesn't star Edward Furlong. It's stupid.
We don't know that.
Edward Furlong is not in the movie. Because there's no way James Cameron's going to hire fat Edward Furlong, because Edward Furlong is fat now.
When was the last time you saw him?
I looked him up, actually, to figure out what happened to Edward Furlong after watching Brain Scan.
Oh,
yeah,
ooh.
That was a great film.
I enjoyed that
which
one.
I rewatched it sometime last year, and the most recent picture I've seen of Edward Furlong is he is fat.
Well, he may have gotten a little workout going on. He may show up as a cameo. Because we have to acknowledge the fact that she had a son.
Yeah, sure. A dead son named John Connor. Or he's off fighting the war and she's doing her own thing because he's John Connor.
What war? They stopped the war at the end of Judgment Day.
Yeah, and then 3 happened, another Judgment Day, and then 4 happened in a different way.
If they remove all of those...
And then Genesis went back to change the past.
That Genesis has nothing to do with this.
It does. It was
no,
the most recent.
They've already said, with Cameron's takeover, The order is T1, Judgment Day, Dark Fate.
That's so stupid. I'm done.
They're taking all these different little parts from the other one, and they're making this as the actual third movie.
That means, okay, I'm tired of following it. I'm done.
You done?
I'm done. I don't, screw Terminator. Sorry.
Wow, pick up the F-bomb. You have earned it today.
Sorry. Yeah, no, screw Terminator.
Wow, you're giving up on Terminator.
I gave up on Terminator at T3.
Wow.
And then Salvation. And I gave Salvation a chance because Christian Bale was playing John Connor.
I can see that, but then
And
the
I wanted to
story
see if he did
failed
his
in that.
Batman voice. I'm John Connor.
I'm John Connor.
Yeah, but he didn't. And may have made the movie better.
All right, so there's only one thing left that we have that's to look forward to coming up, because I've already heard reviews of the first, and I do mean the absolute first movie of his that I will probably not see in the theater. So Aladdin.
Okay.
There's a point where you can't bring certain people to certain parties.
No.
You're looking kind of defeated, man.
I'm
movies are not selling it for you right now. Huh?
not the ones in theaters. You want to talk about classics next week?
I've been waiting, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been waiting.
So we'll figure out a classic movie and then we'll review it next week.
All right, there is one thing we both can actually go over. Godzilla King of Monsters.
That looks awesome.
I think that's the only thing I have looking forward to. As most people have seen, I have not talked about Star Wars, especially after the Vanity Fair article that came out that interviewed a certain person, J.J. Abrams, and he is definitely taking liberties with a favorite product. So we're going to see how this goes. And if you want to know what the heck I'm talking about, there's tons of stuff online. I'm not going to get into it, but I will reference you to look up the Vanity Fair article where J.J. Abrams gets a chance to talk, Kathleen Kennedy gets a chance to talk, and they talk about the problems and issues they've had with Episode 9 already. So it's going to be fun. I read the entire article, and I'm almost wanting to use language like you were. So other than that,
Star Wars 2.
I'm not willing to say it yet because of Filoni and The Mandalorian, even though you have your beef with The Mandalorian because you're like, where are they coming from? But if you go with what the canon currently is, this guy could have just picked up some armor and is wearing it because it looks cute.
No, yeah. Oberyn Martell picked up some armor.
Hey, man, after your eyes get shoved in the back of your head, maybe you might want to pick up some face armor.
Like, man, he's not going to have as much fun being a Mandalorian as he did being a Prince of Dorne.
Do you want to talk about Dorne again? What?
No, I'm done.
What?
I'm done. I'm tapping out.
You're tapping out.
I'm tapping out.
Well, on that note, I guess that's you tapping out. So that was us doing exactly what we said we're going to do. We're going to finish out Game of Thrones. We got through it all. He's tapping out.
It was emotionally draining and depressing to watch 10 years of my life end on such a somber Because that was my response. It ended, and I know there were people that were angry, people that were crying, and people that were happy. And I went,
Yeah, it's over.
It. Yeah. It's literally, I'd rather see Dexter go be a lumberjack.
That's okay. He can work all night.
Yeah. I would rather watch another Sopranos ending.
Now that was an ending.
It just abruptly ended, like, which was fine. But I'd rather watch Lost again.
Okay, so I already know you have beef with Lost. But all right, then give me one of your best TV series.
Breaking Bad, MASH.
Okay.
I'd rather watch season 3 of Prison Break again. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that.
No. And it wasn't that I didn't dislike the season 3 of Prison Break. Okay, it was just meh.
Well, that's pretty much it.
It wasn't True Blood bad.
Ouch, man. I liked the last episode.
It wasn't True Blood bad. It really wasn't even Lost bad. It was almost Heroes bad though.
See, that gets into a tricky area. Did Heroes really end?
Technically, no, because Heroes Reborn is a thing, but then that just got canceled. So
yeah, so I mean,
technically, but the original stories of Heroes ended during a writer's strike where they.
So that's where I go. Really, is this a true ending?
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe the writers went on strike at Game of Thrones.
But there's no strike going on.
Yeah, I know.
But
they still just maybe said, "Screw it, I give up. I'm going to go work for Disney."
Which is what it looks like.
Yeah.
On that
note.
on that note, as he tries to just run out of the room with his headphones still attached, if you want to holler at us or if you just want to sit there and laugh at this episode, hit us up, mailbag at therealpundits.com, and you can always find us at The Real Pundits on Twitter. And you know what? It's been fun. Now we're going back to classic films. We're going to have some real fun.
First film, PCU.
No, we're going more classic than that, man.
That's 90s classic.
No.
PCU with
No,
Jeremy Piven.
I need a palate cleanser.
Okay.
Because if we're going to go that far back, I want to go to Made.
Let's go.
What you got? I want to go farther back.
Let's go Bruce Lee.
What, we're going to sit there and just hype the entire movie?
No, we're going to go Boss.
Which one? Enter the Dragon. No. Okay,
I'm trying to remember the name of the film. I'm tired, so.
It's all right. We're going to figure it out. And we'll
Big
put it
Boss, right?
We're going to put it out on Twitter later on this week, what movie we're actually going to review. We'll keep everybody posted. And on that note, always...
Big Boss.
Yeah, well, he's up there trying to do research.
The Big Boss. That's
Bye.
What it sounds like. Bye.